Greetings everyone, and here we are for our next famous session on SEPP Cooking Show. Ling is going to be doing something wonderful in just a few minutes, and I'm just going to run through another little segment on the spiritual environmental preservation practice, a community of practice. And so we've talked about some like a landmark stage in apprehending and coming to terms with what's going on the planet at the moment with the ecological crisis, the modern crises, all the challenges that we face, the challenges that our brothers and sisters around the planet are facing, and the challenges that are facing the environment as well. And so we've talked about the samvega, environmental samvega, which is, the shock at seeing that. There's some shame in there, but there's also a motivation that gives us one wing to fly with. But the other wing is to have a reliable way forward that we have confidence in. That's the environmental pasada, which is good to have two wings when you want to fly. And so for me, the spiritual forms a foundational layer for this reliable way forward that we have confidence in. And so one of the things about that is to have faith in being able to go forward. So faith is a common human characteristic, often associated with our spiritual practice. Now, so it's not just faith, but it's more things. So people often talk about hope. I do find that hope is a bit of a fickle thing. So it's great to have hope, but then it's easy enough for me to slip out of hope into, oh, well, there's no hope, it's hopeless. That can often happen just by reading the news, right? You might read something hopeful, and then the next second you're reading something that's not hopeful. So I'd say to myself these days is, if I have hope, that's great. If I don't have hope, well, that's great too, because it's not the thing that I'm relying on. The thing that I'm relying on is faith, because that can carry through whatever the circumstances. This is the fascinating thing about having faith, is that whatever the circumstances, then faith is something that can carry you through. So particularly, there's a list of things you can have faith in, of course, but one big thing for me is about having faith in cause and effect. So the Buddha talked extensively about that, and this is just a good way of understanding the situation, and well, it's a good way of understanding what's happened, how come we've got this modern crisis situation with climate change. Well, it's due to cause and effect, and it's kind of like a no-brainer when you say it like that. But the reason that we have climate change, global warming, is because we've put a cause into place through our burning of fossil fuels. They've done a good job for us in a sense, because they provided us with energy as we've made progress. But now we've got this effect of more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, trapping heat on the planet, and the place is warming up, and there's all sorts of other cause, that's a cause in itself, all sorts of effects are flowing from that, as we see in the news: heat waves, fires, floods, extreme weather conditions and things like that. Similarly, if we're going to go and transition and take a journey to the Symbiocene, where we adjust the way we do things to do things in mutual benefit with the planet and act in a symbiotic way to have this viable way of living on the planet, well, that's about putting causes into place as well. And so what can I do? And having faith, it means that I can put that into action within my circle of influence and get on with the job. So what else do I have faith in? Well, I do have faith in humanity. I do have faith my brothers and sisters. And actually that's not a blind faith. I mean, there's something of a contradiction in there because of the things that we see happening that people are doing. But then when I look at all the things that people are doing to work on regeneration, repair, and achieve a viable way of human living, then that's a lot of people putting that into action. You don't often see it in the main news, you see snippets, but if you start to dig in there, if you start to chase that thread down there to find all the things that people are doing to repair, regenerate and look after the place and make a transition to a symbiotic way of living, there's millions and millions and millions of people engaged in that. So I certainly have faith in humanity, and well, I have faith in what spiritual teaching that I've learnt. So that's something else we can have faith in as well. For me, that's what the Buddha taught. There's so many things in the Buddha Dharma that are applicable to this situation, to this spiritual practice that I can put into action in my life, in my circle of influence, and to make my contribution, whatever my contribution is. It's not like I can snap my fingers and the whole thing is going to be suddenly transformed by any means, but I can always make a contribution, and so that's what I'm happy with. Now it's time for food again, and here's Grandma Ling. We're blessed to have granddaughters Alice and Rachel here with us today. Alice is behind the camera, and Grandma Ling is going to tell us about doing fresh spring rolls.
Auspicious greeting to all. Thank you so much for my beautiful granddaughters who's actually here with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That make the day so special and make the time and the space so special. Thank you. And I would like to actually see if you can actually see my beautiful t-shirt here. It's a, what does it say, please?
Nan Tagan 2030 campaign. Spiritual and environmental community of practice.
There we go. This is actually decided by 11-year-old boy, one of our members, who actually decided that t-shirt and printed on 100% cottons, certified organic cottons. And that is actually what we're aiming for. The things that we actually can do, not the things that, you know, we're expecting someone else to do, or, you know, waiting for someone else to think about it doing. Because I have got this beautiful t-shirt and it's white, I'm going to put on my apron, which I'm actually very proud of. My favorite animal, kookaburra. And I got this from the National Park. I just have to actually disappear into the National Park gift shops, and I always come up with some very nice things. All right, so we're actually going to do the fresh spring rolls. There's so many different brands that you can actually get when we actually talk about the fresh spring roll. This is actually rice papers. It's good for gluten-free and vegan, where so many brands that you can actually get. I actually prefer to get this big stick one because it's actually cheaper. You pay much cheaper. But if you actually only have a small you know, group of people, or by yourself, you can also get them from the supermarket as well. And this is what it looks like. You must put them in the paper bag or in a airtight containers to keep them fresh. All right, so I have got that one, those one there, and I have got all these ingredients where you can actually see. I have got the chili where I'm actually going to make the sauce in a minute. I'm going to use the garlic today, the lime or lemon. I'm also going to cut this one up in strips. I love cooking. One of the reasons I love cooking is that it's very therapeutic for me. The reason it's actually therapeutic is, and it's also very artistic for me as well. I don't know if you can actually see, there's actually circle. you can actually even use this as your target if you're actually doing target shooting. If you actually love archery, you can use that to actually do your target shooting. All right, so I've actually cut everything into strips. It doesn't need much because everything, when we add on this and this and that and this, when we all need each other's really, you know, because of this is that, because of that is this. So I have got things actually cut up, which is I'm actually doing up here. I'm going to do my sauce just in a minute, and I have got a bit of dill. So whatever you actually like, you know, you can actually add avocados as well. You can also add flowers in your wrap. You can also have the coriander, which is actually some of them is actually going yellow, but still you can actually use that. You can use coriander. My favorite is the mint. This is actually from home. All these things actually in front of me is actually from home. So you just rip this one up and you just get them ready. Another thing that I have just picked 5 minutes ago is the goji kola. So we use a lot of goji kola in Laos and in Thailand. You can also use this one as well. They're very, very good for health, you know, for lots of health reasons. So you just actually get the leaf. Another thing that I'm going to show you as well, as we actually have in the past, the Vietnamese mint, freshly actually picked. So whatever you like really. And my beautiful choco rice, I'm going to eat them fresh as well. So whatever that I can actually break with my fingers, that is edible. So I'm going to add that into
the lion's whiskers.
The lion whiskers, that's the same thing. Another thing that I have today is the chili. We can also eat the chili leaf as well. So I'm going to add the chili leaf into the wrap. And really, you just listen to your body. Whatever you do, you tap into your body system, and you would know that, oh, I might actually need some, you know, if your system, this is beautiful. I have a guess, what would this be? So this one is actually the young one. That is actually the old one. The silkworm loves them. That is the, silkworm loves what? Mulberry. This is the mulberry leaf, the front of them and the back of them. So we're going to use the mulberry as if we're not using the lettuce leaf. I also have some lettuce leaf in here as well. So there's lettuce leaves that we can actually use. The list is endless. Let me put it that way. Cucumber, that's another one. So whatever we do, even if you use avocado, like I said earlier, cut them into strips. And you can hear, because you are here with the cucumber, you can actually not only see the cucumber, you can also feel and hear the cucumbers as well. So you just cut them into strips. I love, it's very artistic and it's very creative. I'm not very good with creative art like my granddaughters are, but cooking is actually a creative art to me. All right, so what else have I got? Let me actually check this one again. I also have got the pulila. We can actually add on. I also have got the garlic chives. These are all from the garden, by the way, that we actually will add on to it. Something else that was actually we have got in our garden is the snake beans. So you can add the snake beans into it as well. Now, the most important thing with the wrap is the sauce. If the sauce is actually tastes good, everything tastes good. And if you actually have kids and they don't have chili, then you won't put any chilies in there. So what I'm going to do, I've got these beautiful stones. What do you call this one? The mortar and pestles. So I better actually put them on top, underneath with something so it doesn't make too much noise. So I ground that one up. We have got beautiful bird actually up there. You know, it depends on how hot you want your sauce is, or your dipping sauce is. I'm going to make 3 different sauces if I may. while I'm actually making the sauce, what I've actually like to do is to, I'm just going to park that for a minute. If you have my tofu cut into the strips, hang on, if I can rip this one open. I cut them into some things like so. Whatever left over, I can actually put them away in the fridge for the next use again. So that one is actually stripped up tofu. While I'm actually doing my sauce, I also going to fry my tofu. I have got the stainless steel pans. Add some oil to it. There you go. And I'll just make sure that the oil cover the pans, so that way it will not stick. You don't need a non-stick, believe me. Non-stick, it's actually not very good for anybody at all. So use the stainless steel and just line them up. Make sure that they actually have rooms so you can actually flip them afterward. While that one is actually setting, I'm actually going to continue with this. All right, I have got the chili. I'm going to use the garlic. I can bang or shell the garlics, but I'm not going to do that. I'll just bang them into there, and I'm just collecting the shells out, taking the shells out. Or I can actually leave the shells in. Sometimes, you know, in Laos, we just actually use the shells and everything. Lao people is actually very good at salvaging. You know, we would go to the forest. I still remember this, you know, because my house was just right behind, in front of the state forest. So we would just actually go directly into the state forest, and there we have got our lunch, we have got our breakfast, we have got our dinner. We just salvage, you know, everything in the forest seem to be edible. We don't have to worry about chip, we don't have to worry about packaging, we don't have to worry about anything at all. Now, after I have got, smells beautiful, garlic and chili, I put my lemon or my lime in there, squeeze them in there. I can smell the lime as well, and this is also the therapeutic things for me, because I get to exercise my fingers and my hands, and also get rid of my detox in my system. My emotional system also need to detox. It's very good. Get rid of the anger. The like our Master Hsing Yun said, the three poisons, or the Buddha said, the three poisons. You know, the anger, the greed, and the ignorance. When I squeeze my limes, can I actually also squeeze out some of the ignorance, some of the, you know, that I actually have. Okay, so that is actually one of them that is actually done. Actually, one thing that is actually very important in here is your finger. Dip it in. It tastes really good, honestly. But one thing is actually missing is sugar. I'm actually going to add sugar to it.
This is heavy. Ooh, it tastes really good.
There you go. Cool.
And I don't like very much spicy things.
There you go. Tastes good, doesn't it? It's very
better with a bit of sugar in it.
There you go. I have actually done it. You know, like it's someone have to love it, and you know, someone like my granddaughter is actually said really good. That is actually the best prize. That is the best gift.
Yeah, and I'm very picky sometimes.
Yeah, she is very picky. That's right. Picky possum. There you go. You have got that one sauce or one dipping that you actually can enjoy. Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So the next one I'm actually going to make is that I'm going to. I promise. Can I have? How much time do I have?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Oh, I was going to make 3 dressing. Now I'm actually going to use tahini. I can also use peanut butter as well. So it's actually not that far apart. What I'm actually going to do is just crush up Now, because this is actually got some juice in it, so you have to be very careful that you are not having the juice in your eyes, because this could be a little bit hot. So the girls is actually okay with the chili, so I just crushed this one up.
It's not that bad, the chili.
The chili is not that bad, is it?
Because it's with other stuff.
Yeah, it's actually from home. This chili is actually from home.
Yeah, our chilies are not very hot.
Not very hot at all.
Occasionally you get a hot one.
Oh!
That's it. That one doesn't want to be squashed.
This time I'm going to leave the skins on. So once I actually have got that done, now I wonder, am I going to do tahini, or am I going to do peanut butter?
Which one do you think would taste better?
That's a good question. Oh, okay. I was going to do the opposite. That's all right. Let me actually turn this one first, because like one is actually a little bit brown. So you can actually do many things at once. Once it's actually brown, you just turn it. Just get that thing and you just turn it there. Basically, you just want it to be light brown. See? It's not sticking at all. You can actually see that it's not sticking. There. And you just turn it on the other side. And while this one is actually cooking, browning on the other side, I'll continue with my sauce. All right. Now Tom actually have his wishes, so we're going to do the tahinis. So once I've actually have got the garlic and the chili going, I pop in the tahini. Actually, there's not much tahini left, so I'm going to use the whole lot. With the sauce, if you actually have any left over, you can put it back into the jar. And you can use them, for the rest of the week. But normally it doesn't last the whole week. You can actually use them for different things. Yeah. So
Like what?
Like your salads. You can actually use them in salads and things. Yeah. So I'm going to turn off this one now. Good question. I love questions. Yes. So we squeeze in the lemon or limes. Now Tom doesn't really like sugar. I wonder if I should actually add sugar to his sauce
What he
or
doesn't
not.
know won't hurt him.
Okay, that is actually a very good tricks. Thank you, Thomas. What he doesn't know doesn't hurt him. That's very good tricks.
What type of sugar do you use?
That's a very good question as well. I use certified organic raw sugar. I believe it's a belief system. Actually, I believe it's better for me, because it's certified organic, and because it's Australian, and because it's brown, it's raw. So that's what it's a belief system. Now the next thing that I do need in here is soy sauce. There, a little bit of soy sauce in there. And what I need to do next is just to mix them in. And there I go. I have got 2 different sauces. I might make another one later on. And then I can have, the tofu is already done. I turned up the heat already. I'm going to show you very quickly how to wrap them. Maybe I'll leave this one to one of my granddaughter to mix. There we go. And you can test them as well.
So
and
how
I'm
do I
going
do
to
it?
show you how to actually just bang them in with the what do you call them? The paper, the rice paper. You just have to wet them with water. And once you actually have them with the water, I just put them down. If you actually feel like the mulberry leaf, I love cucumber, so I'm actually will add a little bit of cucumber. I have the garlic chive, a little bit of the red colors, a little bit of the mint, and my favorite mint. You can actually see what I really like. Something that I like, I put a lot of them in. Something that I don't really like, I just put a tiny little bit in, so I can justify that I have put that in there. The last thing that I would do need is,
This is hard work.
It's a bit sticky.
so you can see the tofu. They actually browse like that. I'll put that in the middle. What else do I need? Another thing I can also add is that is some fruit. You know, if I actually have some fruit, I can cut up the apple, for example, or I can actually have some noodles in here as well. You know, just put the apples in there, and I fold that into 1/3 of them maybe, and I put pressures on them, roll them once, and I pick up the size of them. Doesn't matter left or right, and another size of them, and I put pressures on as well as rolling forward. So this is also a practice for me. You go forward, and there you go. You have got a tiny little cute little.
There's a lot of good practice in Ling's rolling.
That's perfect. Put your fingers in
But
there and try
the good thing
them.
about it is
No,
if
thank
you're
you.
starting out and you make a mess of it, you can just still eat it.
I'm gonna go back to my line.
Mm. Like I said earlier, the main thing is actually the sauce. When the sauce is actually, you make the good sauce, this is actually very enjoyable. So that is actually that one. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.